Hi everyone, here's how you can group and sort watch list columns. Now some of the features that you'll see here will be dependent on the service level that you have access to. So for example, professional and enterprise services have automatic grouping features, whereas I'll show you how you can trader services clients can manually group their lists. So let's start off with Pro and Enterprise Services example. So here's a list of the ASX 200 stocks from the Optuma symbol lists, and I've added some columns there, sector name and RSI value. So to group by any of those columns, just right click in the column that you want to group by. So there's the group by column, and it pops up. Depending on the column type, you'll get different options. So we can sort by any of these, but this example I'm just going to select sign, so that's positive and negative, and you can see there it's grouped all the negative ones at the top. If we click the little minus sign, that will collapse that group, and all the positives will show below it. Now within these group headings, negative and positive, we can create summary values. So if we right click in the grey bar there for under change percent, there's a summary type, and we can change that to average. So for the average negative gain or negative return yesterday was minus 1.44%, and we can actually count how many as well. So in the sector name we can right click and count. So for the 57 out of the 200 yesterday had a positive gain. The average gain was 1.3%, and likewise we can do average RSI as well if you wanted to. Okay, let's clear that example. So we grouped by change percent, so right click on that column, clear grouping, and it goes back to where we were. This time I'm going to group on sector name. Now because it's text, there's no options to group by number or anything like that, so we'll just group by column. And because I had the summary types from the previous grouping already in there, that's why they appear automatically here. So 7 commercial services minus 1.9%, and we can collapse each group next to the code column there. So here we can easily see how many numbers in each sector and the average performance. So 50 companies in finance. So we can open up that group, and we can sort as well by whatever column we want. So that's percentage gain, or we can sort by RSI as well. So NHF is the highest RSI value at 77. If the column has a value like RSI or market cap or volume, anything like that, we can group them by deciles or quartiles. So right click on the RSI, group by column, and I'm going to select decile. Now because there's 200 companies in the index, each group or each decile, there'll be 20. So 10 percentages, 10% of the total. So in the bottom group of RSIs, so the average RSI for the bottom 20 is 31.35, but we can collapse that and look at the 20 with the highest RSI, and can see those listed there. Now you'll see this icon on the right of the grey bar, so we can open that group as any chart type. We can select that, we can open it as another watch list, open it as an RRG, and it will just show those 20 in whatever chart that you select. One more example for Pro and Enterprise Services users is the multi-column grouping. So here's a list of the S&P 500 stocks, and I've added 2 RRG columns, one showing the daily quadrant and one the weekly. So I'm going to right click on the weekly heading and group by column, and this will put all the weeklies together, and you can see these are all the improving ones, but the daily quadrant is there as well. So we can now do the same for daily RRG, and so we'll have dailies grouped together within the weekly improving. So we can collapse all of those easily up in the heading there, and let's add some summary types. So we can add average and also count within each group. So let's just do that, and then weekly as well. So actually these doubled up obviously, but so let's just take that top line there. Of the 500 stocks, there's 123 in the weekly improving quadrant. 22 were on a daily basis, were in improving, 27 lagging, 55 leading, and 19 weakening. And again, we can click the little pluses to then expand within each group. So let's have a look at weekly leading. There's 160 of them, and improving on a daily basis. So there's, of those 160, 58 are improving. So we can expand that, and remember, we can click that icon there to open as any type of chart. So if we open that RRG, this will be on a daily basis, so all these ones will be in the improving quadrant, but if we change it to weekly, they'll all be leading. Now for trader services clients, those automatic groupings are not available, but what you can do is manually arrange your watch list into groups. So in this example, I've got a mixture of ASX stocks, US stocks, commodities and currencies. So I think in this list, Apple is the first US stock. So what I can do is right click on Apple and insert header row, and that's going to prompt me to enter a new group name, and I'm going to call this US stocks, and then hit enter. Now those above it, it doesn't know that those are in the ASX, so it just says ungrouped. So I'm going to right click on that, rename row, and call that ASX stocks. Likewise, CL spot is oil, so I'm going to create a commodity group, and finally down the bottom I've got some currencies, so, or FX. So again, we can sort in these performance or price, and like the other automatic groupings, we can click the open group as, and let's say open relative comparison, and it'll just choose the, well, let's put some summary types in there so we can count. So these are the 6 ASX stocks, and we can also put averages in there. Now if you wanted to add something to this list, just click on the watch list. Let's say I want to put Tesla in the US, so I'm just going to type Tesla and then select it from US equities. Now it doesn't know where Tesla's supposed to go, so it goes at the top in ungrouped, but what we can do is click and drag Tesla into US stocks, and the averages and the summary values get updated, but we can then delete the ungrouped heading there, right click on it, delete header row. Hope that's been useful. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks very much.